Over $13 million. That's how much the Cyberpunk TCG has just pulled in, and it's going to keep going. And honestly, it made me stop and think, are we chasing hype, or are we actually chasing a good game? Because after looking at Cyberpunk's gameplay, I went back to something I have not thought about in a while, and that's Sorcery Contested Realm. Now, don't get me wrong, Cyberpunk looks amazing. The art's incredible, the theme is perfect. It's one of my favorite IPs and favorite video games. Definitely top 5, to be honest, after all the fixes. But the gameplay of the TCG right now feels very basic. And that's not necessarily bad. Simple games can be great. But for me personally, I've been wanting something deeper, something with real decision making, and that's what made me revisit Sorcery Contested Realm. Alright, so this gameplay is nothing like a traditional TCG. This trailer you're watching right now is from Arthurian Legends from last year. They release like one set a year, which I actually like because we're coming from things like Magic or Pokemon where there's 3 to 4 sets a year. Like you just get one and the next one's already coming out. So this came out October 2024. The new set Gothic just came out a couple months ago. Let's take a little peek of that. Alright, let's load this bad boy up here. So this is the Gothic one, the Angels versus Demons set, which really kind of boosted interest back into this game, and mine, not gonna lie. But yeah, Sorcery feels less like Magic and more like chess. You're not just playing cards, you're positioning units, controlling space, thinking multiple turns ahead. Every move matters, every placement matters, and honestly that's something I didn't realize I missed in a game. Until I saw how straightforward Cyberpunk's gameplay looked. I don't know what it was about covering all this Cyberpunk gameplay that made me think back on Sorcery TCG and the very, very, very bad first impression I got from that game. Well, we'll go over that later at the end of the video. But let's talk about the art and feel. So Sorcery cards, the art. This is where Sorcery really stands out. It doesn't feel like mass-produced digital assets. It feels like actual artwork. So let's go over the artwork real quick. Let's see here. Let's get rid of this. So all the artwork is on the Eric's Curiosa site, and look at that. It doesn't feel like mass-produced digital assets like I was saying. This feels like actual fantasy artwork, like something you'd frame, not just sleeve. Every single art is hand-painted. They actually have like a stance on they do not want any cards that are digitally created, no AI, everything is creator made for this game. A lot of the art is from well-known artists, so not all of the art's just for the game. They also will, I'm not sure what the term is, but they'll pay the artist to lend their art for a set. Like for Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast have something called, I believe it's called work for hire, where they pay an artist like, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000 to make art for a card, and then the artist does not own the art. It's actually owned by Wizards, so they can just keep recreating or making cards with that art, and the artist is just SOL. In this game, they let the artist owns the art, and they create it specifically. Well, sorry, I shouldn't say specifically, but they create the art for this game, or they already have existing art that they can also get paid to be used for it. So it's very good for artists. It's good for the buyer because you're getting cool, unique art. Just check all this art out. Look at this. Like, look at this art, and then look at something like Magic the Gathering, where it looks very, I don't know, fake, digital. Almost AI. Like a lot of people were scared about Cyberpunk because a lot of the art looks almost AI looking. I don't think so, but that's what a large consensus is right now in fear, especially my local Facebook group for just hobbies. There, a lot of people are iffy about the art. But this game, all this is hand painted. Look at that. Look at that. Assorted animals. Just this card. That is amazing. This autumn unicorn, avatar of air. Like, look at that art. That is absolutely insane. And not only is the art like a draw of the game also supports the players. Kind of like how Magic used to support players with the Magic Rewards program. Their Sorcery has a dust redemption system. So let's go over this real quick. The Sorcery Play Network. So here's the reward store. So in Sorcery, when you open products, you're not just gambling on pulls, you're accumulating dust, which you could redeem for actual rewards. This includes things like exclusive items, rare promos, and high-end collectibles. So even your bad boxes, you still move you towards something valuable, and that's one of the smartest systems I've seen in a TCG. So let's go over some stuff here. I believe you get 100 dust points per booster box. You also get points for going to community events. So let's see, for 200, so 2 boxes, you can get a 4-pack of these foot soldiers. 10 boxes would get you a warhorse. This actually is worth money, I think. It's like $100, and I think that's a staple in red decks. Fields of Fixus, Haystack. You can see these are popular. They're already sold out. When the game first came out, you could have got more alpha product, which is obviously sold out by now. And these are huge. You can get avatar promos. So these are still in stock. Oh, these are still in stock. Obviously the popular ones are sold out, but these are still cool to pick up. I'd probably pick this up. This looks awesome. The Sorcerer foil. And all these are from the Gothic release, I believe. They'll put up new promos in the Dust Store with each new release, which is once a year. Yeah, there's just cool stuff. The stuff sold out, like the Alpha box. Obviously, this is like $1,000, $1,200 item, so that's obviously one of the first things that sold out. But yeah, this is insane. This is something Magic the Gathering doesn't even do. Like, they took this away. It's probably too much. As Wizards of the Coast got more corporate, these things, they don't care about the player. They want your money and that's it. They want like a simple transaction. Sorcery is promoting the players. But yeah, so talking about Gothic, the last set that just came out a couple months ago, this set did really well. It was a dark theme, angels versus demons, and the cards impacted gameplay in meaningful ways. I think like half the decks are pretty much Gothic cards. So even though it's a one set a year, the one set is impactful. It actually affects the gameplay. So it keeps it fresh. Like, there's no point getting a new set every 3-4 months, or 2 months if you're Magic, if the cards in the set, you add 1 or 2 cards to your deck, right? So it's not just hype. You are getting substance. Let's look at the cards. So let's start with the first card. So these are the beta. There's an alpha before this that came from the Kickstarter, but there's no point looking at that because those cards are stupid expensive. So I want to look at the more widely available cards. These are still widely available. The booster boxes are, I believe, like $130 to $140. I picked up a bunch last night, actually, and we'll make a whole video. We'll make a series of videos on some product openings on the channel when they arrive, but I picked a bunch up for free shipping, $130 a beta box delivered to my door, which was, I think, Gaming Nerds. I'll put a link in the description below to help them out because they hooked me up. So yeah, if you want to get good deals, they also give you promo codes in email if you sign up for their email list. Anyway, so this is the beta set. Like, look at the value of these cards, and this is not because there's not a lot of people opening. There's a lot of people opening product and they're keeping the cards. Like, that's why there's not a lot of listings here, because there's not a lot of supply. Like in Magic the Gathering, if you open like a $200 card, you usually are like, I'll sell it for $180 to get quick money back. In this game, people keep the cards, and even the crappy cards, like, you keep them because they look good, right? This Pathfinder, it's a staple for red decks right now. There's only 7 available, but you don't have to have that foil fancy version. There's a cheaper version, right? So let's see, a TCG player, and there's even cheaper. If you want to hunt for deals, you can go to the Facebook marketplace or Facebook groups, and there's tons of people listing their items for cheaper, free shipping, no tax, right? So if you want to hunt for deals, get a couple more dollars off, you could do that, definitely. So here's Arthurian Legends. This set came out last year, and this actually tanked. Let's take a look at the booster boxes here. So this set was like 88, 85, $90, which is less than MSRP. Let's see, 1 year ago. Let's see. Here's the graph. 87. What was the low right here? This is the low. $87. So $87. But when Gothic came out, the last set, it reignited interest in the game, and that's good. You actually want outsiders of the game to come into your game to you know, like, stimulate the growth of the secondary market, the value, the interest in the cards. When there's people talking word of mouth about your game, that beats all you could have amazing advertising. Like, look at Marathon, the video game. That had a lot of advertising, but it was kind of a mid game, right? So they spent millions of dollars in advertising, and the video game came out and it was whatever. This game, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe I remember reading this in an article, that Eric, the creator of the game, does not want to pay for advertising. He doesn't want to pay influencers to talk about a game they don't care or want to even play. He wants people to organically play the game at a LGS, get people interested in watching it, and have organic growth that way. It could be slow, which it is. Obviously, it's been slow, but it's been working. So you can see the hype here on the release of Gothic. These boxes jumped up $30 a box. They started to cool down, and then they have been stable ever since. And then here's the big daddy here, the newest set. Not that one. Gothic. So this Gothic set is like Angels versus Demons theme. So look at all that art. That's insane. And the value is still there. Like, what Magic set that's come out recently has these values for regular cards? Like, Magic has so many different product lines and then so many different versions that a card that would be really good is worth nothing because there's 4 different variants, or there's a collector box bringing down the value of the regular box. I also believe in an article, Eric said that he has no interest in doing any crossovers, no interest in doing any like collector version of like no multiple versions of a booster box, right? That, like, there's just no point. Why would you do a collector box to bring down the value of a regular box, which will just destroy the value? So he's very into the collectors and the players. Like, you don't need these expensive versions of cards. There's cheaper versions. And also these uniques, the rarity, you only need 1 copy in your deck. So it's not like a Magic where you need multiple copies of a $100, $150 card. In a competitive deck, you just need 1. But yeah, so anyway, I'm here thinking Cyberpunk TCG, they made $13 million, and I'm genuinely curious how that evolves. But at the same time, it reminded me that I don't want a cool IP slapped on cards. Like, I just don't want that. I want meaningful gameplay that makes meaningful decisions from the player, and honestly, also meaningful art, right? I do want to go over my initial experience with Sorcery. So my Kickstarter delivery was not delivered. It was marked delivered, but it was never there. My security cameras don't even show someone dropping it off. So I don't know if that was the UPS driver just not like mark. From what people told me is the UPS drivers will mark delivered on all the packages because they're lazy, and then deliver them. So he either forgot to deliver mine and it got lost, or he took it because at the time the Kickstarter was going off and people were really getting into the game, and the value of the boxes just spiked. It was like $1,000 a box for the alpha kit, an alpha booster box. So either one of those two things happened, and I reached out to Sorcery, and they pretty much like ignored me. Like, they did not care until I made a big scene about it, and then they reached out and replaced it. But I was like, I shouldn't have had to. I know it's not their fault, but they were also kind of just ignoring it. Like, they didn't care. So that kind of left like a sour taste in my mouth, and I kind of was over the game. I like sold the product. They replaced because I was just over it. And then I never really looked back on the game since until I thought about it last week. So yeah, and I've been diving into it ever since last week, since the Cyberpunk TCG launched on Kickstarter, and this has just like amazed me. Like, all this art is amazing. The Dust program for the players and how they support collectors. This actually looks like a good ecosystem to me, and I actually like the one set release a year. But yeah. Anyway, in conclusion, let me know what you think. What do you think about that Cyberpunk TCG? It's just getting started? Do you think it's all hype? Drop it in the comments below. And what do you think about Sorcery TCG? Do you like the one set release a year? Anyway, yeah, Cyberpunk. They made 13 million so far. It's crazy, but a great game, that is rare.